It is the Riot Podcast. This is the Friday, July 22nd edition. Hello, Nikki.
Hello. Hi, everybody.
I say hello to you even though we've been doing the show for hours.
That's all right. It's still nice to hear a good hello. Hello back.
Hello.
Hello in there. This is our final show for this week. That is without Isaiah.
That's
he should be
right.
returning on Monday.
Hopefully he will make it back the way that everything is already pre-planned. We'll see how that goes. Today on the show, of course, the big thing was that we got to talk to Ryan from Demon Hunter.
Oh, it was so good to catch up with him. And he gave a lot of information if you're looking forward to Exile. Like they're doing a lot and they're now doing it on their own.
Yeah.
So it's good to catch up and make sure you listen and, support them because they got a lot of stuff with this release.
Very ambitious project they've been working on. And the music that we've heard so far has been excellent. And of course, I know Demon Hunter, they're going out on tour for the album and they're always great at live. So definitely support Demon Hunter with this new album if you can. We also got to look back at the Dungeons and Dragons trailer that came out. There's a real theme for movies coming right now, for movies and TV shows.
Yeah.
I think they're really leaning in to all of this fantasy stuff, which is horrible news for me.
Because if it has a dragon, Hudson's not into it.
Yeah, it's
eventually you're gonna have to give in and watch something.
That's what I'm worried about, and I don't know. Well, okay, there's a absolute 0% chance I will watch anything Game of Thrones.
Okay.
I do not care. I don't, and it's just gotten so popular that it's one of those things where once something gets so popular and I'm not in, I can't get in. But Lord of the Rings, I also have zero interest in.
But you might peek in on that one?
I just feel like I might feel so obligated to. But out of the three, Dungeons and Dragons, even though will probably be the worst.
Yeah, that might be the one.
It's probably the one that I can at least find myself into. But then again, I have to go to theaters to see that. So I think there's near zero chance of that happening. So Lord of the Rings, I guess, is the winner.
I feel like they're gearing up to guilt all of us Amazon Prime members into now that you're a Prime member, you've been one. We try to ship to you as fast as possible. You must watch.
Exactly. Yeah, you'd really be. We're gonna have to cut back on a lot of stuff with Amazon if we don't get enough views on this Lord of the Rings deal.
Well, there's a lot in the podcast. We really, truly hope you guys have a wonderful weekend or a wonderful day. If you're listening to this some other time, make sure you always say hi as a podcast listener. If there's something you want to share, if we cover something, text 877 to RadioU. Even if we're not in the studio, just put, I'm a podcast listener and your name, and we can cover you in the next show.
Sounds like a plan.
All right. Have a good weekend.
Have a good one.
And a good podcast.
There's no fresh by date because it was spoiled when they made it. Worst of the Riot, Radio U.
This past weekend at Knott's Berry Farm, a theme park in Buena Park, California. It's somewhat near Disneyland and somewhat in the same idea. It's got some rides. It's a lot about the Old West theming and stuff like that. It's kind of a little bit of a Dollywood of the West, some might say.
It's bigger than that, but if you've never been there, it's not actually a berry farm. So.
No, but they do sell a lot of berries. And so they had a fight breakout, at least enough fights on Saturday night, where they had to close the park 3 hours early. A busy weekend for them.
It is.
And it got so out of hand that they said, we're just shutting everything down. Everybody get out of here.
They said there was a lot of, I think it was mostly under 18.
That's what they said, teenagers.
But they had a lot of fighting going on, and it just seemed like, it wasn't coordinated, but it just seemed like there was so many that their security couldn't handle it. So to just close down Knott's Berry Farm, it became trending.
Yeah, it was. It got out of hand. And so now they're trying to find ways that, at least in some way, they can prevent having a similar situation happen. And so they announced earlier this week that they're going to be implementing a chaperone policy. If you are a guest,
a dance or what?
Yeah, right. There has to be responsible adults watching out for all these kids. So they say that now, if you are 17 years or younger, you need to be accompanied by an adult who's at least 21 years old.
Oh, that's too bad.
So yeah, backup for the fight, so you don't get outnumbered or overpowered.
Knott's Berry Farm wants you to pick not a 21-year-old who would be willing to fight.
Yeah, that's right. Somebody who's willing to throw down with you, that might not be the best
too bad,
choice.
because, I mean, at any age, as long as your family was okay with you running around by yourself, you could totally have been unaccompanied.
Yeah.
But, if they're just having too many problems.
I can't imagine there's like a ton of people, because I don't know how many 15-year-olds have the season pass or whatever that are getting in there all by themselves, but there might be a few. They do say that
Hudson, your parents can drop you off.
I know, but how many people are really doing that?
Well, it was enough to close
to cause a fight. That's right. They say that if you're a group of people, or in other words, one chaperone can be responsible for up to 3 minors, and that's it. So you don't have to have one for one, because that would really get out of hand. Then, you wouldn't even have families being able to go.
That's when you get your older brother or sister to take you. So that starts a new policy that starts today, and they say that's until further notice, and it'll be on Friday and Saturdays.
It's still so, it's hilarious to me. Just the thought of thinking of what Knott's Berry Farm is, and thinking you're getting so upset about something there that you're willing to put up your dukes
to fight
and get into it. Yeah,
well, they weren't fighting with Knott's Berry Farm.
No,
that's older people that do that. They were just fighting with each other,
which is still crazy though. Like, Ryan, now you've really done it. And,
I hate you, Ryan.
And I'm gonna punch you in the face right next to these berry preserves and this old lady dressed as a milk maiden. I'm gonna get you. And that's what's going down in Knott's Berry Farm.
Hudson, I'm sorry, you just weren't like that when you were 17.
Yeah, that's right. I didn't have a hot temper like that. That's for sure. The berry preserves really set me off,
It's hot outside. There's a lot of people. There's just a lot of fighting.
So no more, hopefully, at Knott's Berry Farm. They're trying to curb this, and I don't know if this policy, is it one of those things that's really going to make any kind of actual difference? Is this a real recurring problem anyways? Or is it just, we had a bad thing go down, so we'll come up with some kind of something to put out there.
Does one bad weekend ruin it all?
Yeah, it sure does. It sure does.
Why are Hudson, Nikki, and Isaiah always eating on the show? The more we feed them, the less they talk. The Riot. Radio U.
It is time to take a look in your pantry and in your medicine cabinet and just everywhere around your home. If you bought anything from Family Dollar, and throw it away.
Anything?
I think it's safe to say pretty much anything.
What do they have? A recall of the whole store?
Essentially.
Oh, gosh.
Is what it sounds like. Family Dollar. Technically, it is 425 products that they are recalling for improper storage.
So it doesn't look like necessarily it was any food items, but things that are, like this, deodorants and lotions and shampoos and stuff need to be stored still in certain temperatures. And they say they were stored outside of the temperature requirements before being shipped to Family Dollars. And so if you have like this lip balm, you're not supposed to be using it.
Yeah, this is still stuff that like you either put on or in your body, it sounds like. I didn't realize. What temperature would you have to store toothpaste at for it to become dangerous?
Well, if it's outside of the requirements, then it's got to be pretty bad.
What are the requirements?
Probably inside temperatures, like your house.
So if you set it, so either it's too hot, right? And the toothpaste was sitting out in the sun or something like that, then what happens?
I think it can go bad. I think there's still probably something inside that
it curdles. The curdled toothpaste.
Oh God! Can you imagine that?
What a horrible way. You wake up, your eyes are still, dreary from
sleepy.
And you can hardly see. You squeeze out the toothpaste. Oh, that smells a little weird. And then you put it in your mouth. Oh, what a rude awakening that would be.
I don't think it curdles like food, but I think probably some of the ingredients don't work as well then. So if the toothpaste is like, hey, we're anti-cavity, and you're like, no, it was stored outside, it got too hot, and like some of the ingredients no longer do its job.
It could be. Now, what about deodorant?
Yeah,
I guess that one, if it was stored too hot, its deodorizing properties would already be used up or something.
It could have melted and then reformed, which would be bad, and then maybe you get a rash.
I don't know. You know what? I'll tell you. Obviously, if you're shopping at Family Dollar, that's already like a discount place. But I think I'm willing to take a chance. You know, inflation is running rampant, we like to say. Everything is too expensive. I am willing to take a chance on the sat out in the sun toothpaste and deodorant. I'll take a bunch if you're just going to get rid of it anyways.
Sure, we'll take it.
I will take whatever negative health effects come with that.
So they say no complaints or no one has reported an illness connected to the recall items. And I can't quite get, like, do you get your money back?
Right.
Are you just supposed to throw it away?
Because that's a lot of stuff.
But it includes, like, medicine and stuff. So you should at least check the list if you buy stuff from Family Dollar.
It just says if you purchased any of the 425 items that are subject to recall, the FDA, it's not even Family Dollar saying this, the FDA advises returning it. And you don't need a receipt. And other than that, I don't know if they'll just Family Dollar give you your money back, no questions asked, or what's going on. And then, like, I guess if you look at the list of stuff, I'm not going to tell you how to, go. How would you put it? What? Scam Family Dollar? You're like, no, I swear I bought this here. The website said no receipt necessary.
I'm taking it back.
Yes, this whole thing of Colgate toothpaste is used, but I guarantee you I got it here.
Listen, don't kick Family Dollar while they're down. Just bring it back.
Oh, they are down.
Or just see how the odds are if they're in your favor.
Do you recall this, though, Nikki, that this happened earlier this year? They had to close down like a ton of Family Dollar stores temporarily. Remember that?
I do.
So now this is not the first time that they're having some issues.
Yeah, that was because of rodents. So that's worse.
So similar, just both. I mean, I don't know. I guess this one I really don't know. The FDA would have to explain to me why I need to worry about what temperature the toothpaste was stored at, but
I do need to worry about rats.
Yeah, no, I just but when you just can't seem to get it right, you know? Every other store seems to have it sorted out that you store things at the right temperature, you don't get rats involved generally. And for some reason Family Dollar just can't do it.
Boy, you're looking all down at them from your high and mighty non-spoiled stuff, aren't you?
Yeah, that's right. That you put me in charge. I'm just going to say, you don't store it at the right temperature.
Okay.
That'd be my plan.
Let's get rid of the rats. Done.
If you're looking for diet motivation, you won't find it here. The Riot Radio U.
It is the Riots on Radio U, 8772 Radio U. You're going to need that number to help me out here, unless Nikki can do it. I don't know.
Well, how about we work together?
All right. It's fortunate that I have a radio show because sometimes there's questions that you have that you just can't look up online because the internet, there is an answer for your problem, but the internet doesn't know it based off of how I have to ask the question. So here's what happened. This morning, I come out to my car before, obviously, heading into the show. And when I walk out...
Thanks for doing that, by the way.
Yeah. It's an important part of actually making this show happen. And so before I get in my car, I hear this like weird kind of whistling, hissing noise.
Yeah.
And I'm like, well, that's a weird sound. But whatever. I get in the car. And as I turn on the car and get ready to back out, I see a truck slowly driving down my street. It's just a bigger white, I think it was, pickup truck. It was dark, hard to see. But it had those flashing lights on it that are like yellowy orange and, and maybe a white one. And it drives by my car. My house is near the end of the street. So it gets down to near the end of the street and then makes a big turnaround and comes back around. And it's got like this mist. So the sound, it's got like this mist coming off of it.
Yeah.
The truck is spraying a mist.
Yeah, I know what it is.
You know what it is?
Yeah, it's a street sweeper.
But what do you mean? It wasn't, it was just a truck.
Well, okay, what misting normally is to like get the dust down so then it can just be swept up. So maybe it wasn't sweeping it up, but coming later was like a street sweeper.
Yeah, I know street sweepers.
Yeah.
I've seen them in shows.
But this kind of eliminates, like, because if they go in, I don't know, street sweep, and then it could cause, if the road is pretty dirty, I think they missed it down.
Well, this might have been a lot shorter than what I was expecting. Because that's what I thought when I first heard the sound and then I saw the lights. I was like, oh, that probably is a street sweeper coming by, which I don't think I've ever been so fortunate as to get to see a street sweeper on my own road. And I guess if I would have waited, if I would have just waited, I would have actually gotten to see a street sweeper come by and clean my roads.
It could be something different, but I would assume that's what that is.
I didn't know with the mist thing. The mist is what threw me off because I was like, oh, what are they? Are they poisoning the air? Are they trying, keeping us keeping us from asking questions or something like that?
Is it fluoride in the mist?
Yeah, right. Is there something in there to just keep us keep on sheeping? But no, I guess I have the answer then. Well, that was less interesting than I thought it would be. I thought it'd be a mystery to you too, especially based off of my description.
That's all I can think of. Now, I could be totally wrong. So, of course, if anybody knows what the mysterious vehicle was.
Do you see, though, that if I typed into Google truck blowing mist at 5 a.m. in the morning, that Google might not be able to help me?
Well, Tom says could be spraying for mosquitoes.
I thought that could be a thing, too. We have had a mosquito problem.
Now, Jeff is making this sound ominous. Seen those a lot around here in Texas, always at night.
Uh-oh.
What's going on at night? David says we have a misting truck, but it's mosquito spray, so maybe it is mosquitoes.
Oh, it sounds like mosquitoes.
And then
I wish they would have come a week ago.
Stacy said, I first thought he meant the mosquito sprayer trucks, honestly. So it depends on where the spray is coming from in the truck.
Sounds like you were wrong, Nikki.
Could be. And then Julian says, reminds me of the Fairly Odd Parents episode where Timmy wishes to stay up late and the street sweeper is actually a transformer.
Yes, actually, I remember that. You lost me at first, but I do remember that.
I love it.
Love the Fairly Odd Parents.
All right, so I think it's either a street sweeper thing, a street sweeper, or a mosquito sprayer.
All right. Well, now
good job,
that sounds like some good news.
That's
either way, either the streets are getting cleaned or the mosquitoes are getting killed. And I'm on board with either one of those.
That's good. You should have gone out next time and just
breathed it in.
Asked him. Knock on the door.
I had my windows down. Does that mean I'm going to die?
No, it just means you're mosquito free.
Hey, it could be worse. Oh, wait. The Worst of the Riot podcast.
With summertime, it comes music festivals.
Yeah, it is that time.
It's a wonderful time of year. Music festivals, a lot of fun. Sometimes
I don't know why they pick them in the heat of the summer, but
well, because how would you do it in the cold of the winter? The one thing worse than being out in the summertime heat would be a music festival in the snow.
I was thinking more like Hudson, a spring or fall. That would be better.
Few of them. You know what? People have school and. I guess that's it, school. So the summertime is the only time they can get the time off. I don't know. But with music festivals, I don't care what time of year you have them. They definitely have their issues. The bathroom situation often.
It's rough.
Anytime you have to camp and it's not even like wilderness camping, it's like camping with a million other people. That's also can be an issue. And this is one of the worst. When you go to a music festival, and this happened to me, like one of my worst moments I feel is, you get in the food situation because you don't know a lot of times how much stuff is going to cost.
Yeah.
And I had one where I was in a music festival. You can't, what are you going to leave and go back to your car and drive away and go get some food somewhere else and then come back to the festival? And of course not. You got to eat. Like if you don't have stuff ready to go, you've got to eat whatever's there. And so I went to this place and it had a bucket of fries, like a pretty good sized bucket. And so I get the bucket of fries, and Nikki, you probably have an idea if you remember the story, because I know I've told it before. It's like $30.
That's not a
$30 for a bucket of fries. I should have gotten a whole potato field for that price.
You should have.
They gave me a bucket of, but I didn't know they didn't have the prices posted. But because why would they? They can charge whatever they want. People are still going to buy because we're all dumb music festival people. But once you get the fries, what are you going to do? Or once you hear the price,
you're too worn down to speak up.
Yeah, you really going to walk away at that point? I don't know how expensive it would have had to be for me to say, actually, no, I'll just starve. It's fine. But, that
you
can
have the bucket. I'll hold the fries.
But that's one of the worst. It's one of the worst things when you don't get to find out the cost ahead of time, and then especially once you realize afterwards. And I think that's why a lot of people, you don't want to go like get your car looked at, or you avoid going to the doctor and stuff like that, because it's like, well, I mean, I have no idea what it's actually going to wind up costing me, and I'm afraid it's going to be a lot. And so that is why I think a lot of people don't wind up getting into a relationship with Jesus. You don't you don't actually get to know God because you hear some of the benefits, but you're like, yeah, but there's got to be a trade-off. There's got to be a cost that I'm not hearing about.
You're worried about the $30 bucket of fry
That's
cost.
right. And yeah, the fries were really good, but were they $30 good? Would it really be worth it with the cost? But I want to let you know that with God, the cost is all it's all in front of you. When you start talking to God, there is no price to pay. God isn't going to, he's not going to get your foot in the door and then be like, actually, you know what? You're going to have to give up basically everything. God isn't going to do that to you. Jesus just wants to be a part of your life. He wants to help you through life. All of those benefits are real. And the idea that at some point, whether it's day one or day whenever, that all of a sudden God's going to be like, all right, time to pay up. That's not how it is. Jesus, it's all right laid out in front of you. Jesus wants to be a part of your life, and it's free. It's just you saying, hey, God, I want you a part of my life. I want to find out more about who you are, how you can help me. I want you to show me you love me, and just let him do that and go from there. If you want to know more, you actually can go to RadioU.com/free gift. It's free. It's at RadioU.com/free gift. It's a great place to start.
Ever ordered a bucket of fries at a place since then, or did that scare you away?
Not if I didn't know what the price was. I learned a valuable lesson that day.
There's bad, and then there's the worst of the riot. Radio U.
It's very exciting because we get to talk to one of our favorite bands, a longtime Radio U staple. It is Demon Hunter. We're talking to Ryan from Demon Hunter. Good morning, Ryan.
Good morning.
Morning. How's it going?
It's good. How are you doing?
Pretty good. I'm in Tennessee for a little while visiting Jeremiah, our guitar player. We used to, come out here every year for 4th of July, and then the trips started getting longer and longer. And so
You're just staying there.
Pretty much every summer now we're out here for like a month, 2 months, so overstaying our welcome.
Well, if you head over to Radio U Riot on Facebook or our Radio U Facebook page and then our Radio U Riot YouTube channel, you can actually watch Ryan in the studio. Will you please tell Jeremiah his studio looks amazing just from behind you? Like, I never used to say, but the wood paneling looks really nice behind you. That looks great.
Yeah, he did a great job.
So I actually wanted to ask about this summer. Is it all just work for you with the new album coming out, or do you guys do you get to have fun?
Does
you doing
Demon Hunter vacation?
Right? Where does Demon Hunter vacation? What's going on?
Not so much a vacation. Yeah, it's a lot of work. I mean, for me, it's always juggling my regular design work with band stuff, and the design stuff is always a constant. So that never really goes away. I sort of put a pause on it when we tour, when we're doing an album, but literally every day in between, I'm doing that stuff. So I've got a few of those jobs to sort of shore up before tour, which is September 9th. And that's also the release date. So it's a lot of interviews, things like this, gearing up for tour. A lot of that stuff is on my shoulders. I mean, we are fully independent at this point. So everything that we're doing is by our hands, whether it's the VIP packages. I mean, I've been packing sticker packs and stuff like that, so very hands-on with all that stuff, having stuff shipped here, making sure everything's going to be on time, and then promoting and figuring out all the different ways where we can be interacting and things like that.
Well, for fully independent, that means for maybe people who don't know the lingo, they no longer have, a label outside of, themselves working on this stuff. So if you're ordering from them or if you're supporting the music, like you're really supporting Demon Hunter. So be extra kind and be extra generous
yes.
When supporting them, because it is totally them doing all this work with Exile. So you guys must be overwhelmed, even though probably in a good way.
Yeah, I mean, we're used to doing a lot ourselves, Obviously, I've always very heavy-handed in the artwork and all that sort of stuff, and I've always helped source product in the past, whether it's sourcing vinyl or CDs or deluxe editions. I've always been really hands-on with the manufacturing and all of that stuff, designing all the merchandise, and then obviously Jeremiah is recording the stuff. Our bass player John used to be an A&R, and he was in publishing, and our manager is a writer, and so within our little group of people, we have everything covered. And so that's sort of what set us up to be able to do this on our own. So I wouldn't say it's entirely different from what it's been in the past, but it is a little bit more. I wouldn't say overwhelming yet. It's still fun.
Getting closer.
But it's right on the edge. Yeah.
Hudson, we can help with mailing.
That's about all we're qualified for. That's the best we can do.
We understand that. We can totally work with that one.
Okay. Well, I'm going to ship 7,000 records to you guys, and you can go ahead and
all right.
mail them out for us.
We're going to bring out a RadioU street team. We can get that.
There we go.
Well, this is Ryan with Demon Hunter, and they are getting ready for Exile, which comes out on September 9th.
Yeah, and talking about the new album, we saw that you have you've got what do you have? A graphic novel that goes along with it.
Comic book series.
Dang. So level with us here. Does the comic make sense without the album, and vice versa? I don't know why you would have one without the other, but
yeah, that was actually a huge of huge importance to me, is that it did stand on its own and it didn't have to be something that a Demon Hunter fan would necessarily be the only person that could get something out of it. If it were the kind of thing that you found at a comic book store, for instance, it wouldn't feel like just a piece of band merchandise. So that was really, really important to me going into it. That the story it sort of parallels a lot of what I'm talking about on the record. And the record is technically a concept record, although it doesn't really have, the songs don't really follow an arc. It's more that they have similar and very kind of focused themes, all surrounding sort of social media and just our current day and age, and all the sort of trappings that come along with the internet and all that stuff. That is sort of the overarching theme. And so the comic is a very, near future dramatized storyline that kind of blows that whole thing into a bigger picture.
So will all four be out at the same time with the album?
No, they are being worked on right now. I think the first one will definitely be available with the album, and that first issue comes with the deluxe edition of the record. If you order it that way, you can order it a la carte. You can pre-order all 4 issues. The guy who is inking the comic is almost done with the second one. So I have a feeling the second one will be inked, colored, lettered, and everything, and possibly in production, if not finished, by the time the record comes out. But we're actively working on them so that they can come out, probably 2 months apart from each other, 3 months apart from each other.
Close to it, sure.
Yeah.
One more thing. I want to know, now that you, this is like your 11th album, right? So you've
Which
had
is
a few
amazing,
of these.
right?
It is. That's crazy.
Albums.
Most bands don't make it that far.
Wait, do you feel, Ryan, like it's your 11th album, or where do you feel in here?
It's hard to say. I mean, it's still fun. So, I mean, not really. We still love it to death. So it's never felt like it's dragging at any point. I feel like we're writing our best material as of the last few records. I really do think that this is probably our best material to date. So I'm really excited about that. I know every band has to say that, and they do say it. But I think it's, every once in a while it is the case. And for us, I think that it just keeps getting better and better. So I don't feel like we're necessarily akin to other bands that have done 11 albums, because usually that means they're a little past their prime. I feel like we're right there in our prime. And yeah, I mean, I don't feel old most of the time.
Just tired?
A little tired.
Yeah.
That'd be amazing if one band came out, their 11th album. Honestly, not our best. We've done better. I mean, we'll put it out, but
that's not in Demon Hunter's case.
Definitely not Demon Hunter.
No.
Well, we're looking forward to Exile coming out in September, and all of the comic books and everything that comes with it as well.
And guys, it's a little over an hour long, I was looking, so you're getting your streaming and your money's worth.
Lots of bang for your buck, for sure.
Think that's exciting too, because 11 hours or 11 albums in, you're also not shortening things. It seems like you guys always go above and beyond to create such a big product for fans.
Yeah, we did the kind of double album, or the 2 albums at the same time last time, which was a cool experiment for us. And it allowed us to sort of polarize those styles and focus on them individually. We were thinking, what's next? And I've always sort of shied away from the idea of a concept album. It's always felt a little bit limiting. But the more I started writing these songs, they all sort of felt like they had this through line, this similarity to them. And so really leaning into the idea of a pseudo concept album really started to give me more ideas than it didn't. And so the comic and all that stuff just like started, my mind was just exploding with ideas. So yeah, at the end of the day, the deluxe edition is actually 80 minutes.
Oh, wow.
It has, yeah. So the deluxe edition of the record is almost as long as War and Peace Together. So there are audio vignettes that my buddy Randy Torres, who works in film now, doing sound for Christopher Nolan movies and things like that. There are audio clips every 3 songs in the deluxe edition. Narration. We hired a female voice actor to voice the girl from the comic book, and that sort of accompanies the deluxe. So there's a lot of it goes pretty deep, and there's a lot to really immerse yourself in this world that we're sort of creating. So, it kind of goes as deep as you want to go. And I'm hoping to continue to expand on it.
Well, this is Ryan from Demon Hunter. And Hudson, let's go get ready to mail out the 7,000 projects. So
we're
anytime you send them to us, we're good at mailing. We'll totally do that. We'll have you hang tight for a second. Don't forget Exiles out on September 9th with everything that goes with it.
Some talking, a little bit of yelling, and a whole lot of eating. The Riot, Radio U.
Do you have a Neopet?
Did I have one? No.
You didn't have? Oh, I would have put.
You would have bet money on that, right?
I would have, yes. Would have been given very steep odds that you would have had a Neopet.
No.
So are you familiar with Neopets?
I am, but no, I just, I don't think they were still as popular by then, or no, I just never got into it.
Maybe you're just not quite the right age with Neopets. So they were big, like right around the year 1999, 2000, like the early aughts, you could say. Neopets were a thing. It's like, I believe it's like a little, I don't know if it was on a keychain, but it'd just be like you get one little Neopet thing, right?
Yeah.
And it was like whatever you got, and then they're kind of Pokemon-ish, and then you're supposed to like check in with the Neopet and feed it whatever on your little keychain type deal. And try to keep it alive. And then there became like a Neopets online community and stuff. It kind of branched out to try to stay with the times once the internet kind of became more accessible to everybody. Anyways, so Neopets, they have been hacked.
Not the pets,
yeah,
guys.
Not the pets, and not the people who had a Neopet.
Are they being held for ransom? What's going on?
Yeah, that's right. In a way. So I guess it's good, Nikki, that you never had a Neopet because you avoided
pet's not
this.
Ransomed.
Your pet is safe, and more importantly, your data from years and years ago is also safe because we have a hacker who goes by the name, the pseudonym Tartar X.
Of course you do.
He must really love fish. And he or she, I guess we don't know, has claimed responsibility for hacking the Neopets servers and stealing data for about 69 million Neopets users.
But that's impressive. Yeah, but you got to ask yourself, like, how much of that stuff is still current?
That's right.
So what would be the point? If you want my old password, I'm sure you can find it somewhere.
Most people have probably changed emails and hopefully changed passwords in the last 20 years.
Because I'm telling you, hacker, if you think little Nikki's email address and password is my banking stuff now, like it's not it.
But it is, to say the least, that most of these, especially for Neopets, it'd be one thing if it was like, oh, he hacked a bank that hasn't been in business for a long time, or something like that. But with Neopets, it was probably like mostly kids, like mostly teenagers or whatever, barely old enough to have an email, probably didn't have a bank account or anything like that.
Well, you'd probably
what are you going to find?
Like you're at least getting a name and a birthday, but outside of that, the other stuff I can't see being so current. But he's trying to sell the stolen online information. I feel like this is a he. I'm not trying to do that on purpose. I feel
like you are.
But
you're giving men a bad name right now.
I think Tartar X.
That's just to throw you off. So you wouldn't
it's a guy.
think it's a woman.
So they're how about that?
There we go.
They're trying to sell the stolen information for 4 Bitcoin, which is about $94,000.
So they don't even
That's
they don't
not
have
even a
anything
lot.
they want to do with it.
Sure.
They just want they want to pawn it off on somebody else and make it their problem trying to decipher if any of this Neopet old data is
still
even
current.
accurate.
They say that Neopets said that the average age of about its 100,000 daily active users is now between 18 to 34. And then back
so it's
then,
still going.
I think so. But even back then,
that's crazy.
You had to be 13 or older to register.
So there actually could be valuable data in here because Neopets people still use it. And so they would still have an active email. That is, man, you learned something new, right? I thought Neopets was at least a decade out of even existence, but apparently not.
So they recommend, if you are still using Neopets, and no judgment, that's fine, whatever, but you should change your password. And if you use the same password on other websites, we recommend, and by we, Neopets, that you change those passwords.
That would be wise.
You know how it goes when there's been a breach.
Especially if your password is your Neopets name. That probably you want to switch that. And also a helpful reminder that, if you have a Tamagotchi account or something from Club Penguin or something like that, you might want to also change those passwords as well. Lock that down because you never know which might be hacked next.
The Riot with Hudson and Nikki on Radio U.
So, look, I think there's definitely a theme that I'm sensing in Hollywood right now. They're really going with the dragons and like medieval-y stuff.
We're getting a lot of that.
Elves and orcs and things of that nature because...
And what's-its?
Yeah, exactly. Fairies and all the things that I do not care about because...
you really hate dragon stuff.
I do. We had Lord of the Rings. That's coming out in September. You've got the new Game of Thrones, House of the Dragon deal. The trailer just dropped for that, and that's coming out in August. And then we just got the trailer for the new Dungeons and Dragons movie, which is actually a real thing.
It is.
This whole time I've been hearing about it. I was like, yeah, but is that like something they're actually doing? It's something they're actually doing. It's called Dungeons and Dragons: Honor Among Thieves. It stars Chris Pine, Michelle Rodriguez, and that guy I don't know how to say his French name. What? Renee?
Maybe.
I don't know. Something. He's from Bridgerton.
Yeah.
That's all I know. And so,
and he's in the Grey movie today.
Oh, is he really?
I think so. Yeah.
Well, look at that. Well, I guess I'm going to get to know him real well. Maybe if I actually follow through and watch the movie. Anyway, Hugh Grant is in the movie as well.
He is. It's weird to see him. I watched the trailer.
You watched the trailer. What impressions are you getting?
Well, at first I thought this Dungeons and Dragons movie doesn't come out till next year. Mm-hmm. And I thought they're totally trying. I think they rushed the trailer to get around Stranger Things stuff for Dungeons and Dragons.
Okay.
But it really feels like a Thor trailer. They were trying to get a lot more humor in it.
Yeah.
And Chris Pine is in it.
Yeah. Is that a problem?
I feel it is.
Why?
I thought Chris Pine was, I mean this in the nicest way. I thought he'd be too good to do this.
What else is Chris Pine? I mean, he did Star Trek. What else is...
he's been in a bunch of other stuff that's just been...
That also not very good?
Maybe more like a higher style, but not as watched sort of style.
So he needs to make his money somewhere.
I guess.
And this might be it. I don't know. I get the same impression as you that it does feel... Thor-like.
Oh, yeah.
Where they're really trying to get the jokes in there. I'll tell you that, it still has there's a coolness to it, which is funny to say about Dungeons and Dragons, but there is, it just looks good. Like, not that the movie looks like it will be good, but it looks good. Like, what they did with the dragons and stuff that are in the trailer do look pretty cool. And I will say, and I know this is, I don't think anybody is going to, I'm going to be a minority on this. I'm much more likely to watch this than either Lord of the Rings or House of the Dragon. That doesn't mean that I'm likely to watch. Just because it doesn't look so serious.
Sure.
And, like I said, I don't like fairies and dragons, and I like them even less when it's like, it's serious fairies and dragons. At least this is going to be fun, but it looks like they might be trying to have too much fun with it. and not really landing.
Well,
Like I didn't laugh at the trailer, even though there was clearly jokes in it.
Some of it was more clever. So I think people are more impressed than they thought the trailer would be, but still highly skeptical.
Yeah.
So Dungeons and Dragons, the trailer, the movie, like I said, does not come out until next year.
Yeah, so they're, I guess they're hoping that people will be so into LARPing by whatever time this comes out next year after Lord of the Rings and Game of Thrones that they'll just be like, oh yeah, this is another thing about that's like what we already like. So
well, okay, I need everybody to do me a favor though. If you watch the trailer, and you might need to rewatch it, in the very beginning you see the two dragons that come in, or the dragon.
yeah, let me look.
So the dragon, though, starts like, spewing stuff to try to at the people. It looks like he's throwing up because it's not a fireball.
Well, that's basically what he's doing, isn't it?
It is, but there's no fire to it. So you see how it's just like dirt coming out of his
Yeah, that
mouth?
is weird.
So
but you know what? I'm not seeing that in Game of Thrones or Lord of the Rings. So
when I saw it, I was like, is he throwing up at the people?
I don't know
is he
what
doing?
that is. I have no idea. I'll tell you what, though. Also, looking back at now that you've got me re-looking at the trailer, the worlds are like indistinguishable.
Yeah.
You know, like when you just get the establishing shot of like the kingdom or whatever, it looks just like the other two. You could not tell. All you know, to somebody like me, it's exact. They all three look pretty much exactly the same. This is just a little funnier. They've all got different actors. They all look the same. These three things.
Anything with a dragon is the same to Hudson.
It's all meaningless. Is how I see it.
But I don't know, Chris Pine, was that the best choice?
I don't know
How much did you make?
Why you have such high standards for Chris Pine all of a sudden.
I don't know either. It was just a shock.
Or anybody for that matter.
It was a shock to see him there.
You know you can press the stop button at any time, right? This is the Worst of the Riot podcast.
Nikki, you know what I was just doing?
What were you doing?
I was updating my Spotify playlist on the Hudson's Hot Ones playlist.
So if you go to RadioU.com, you can find a shortcut on the top to like our Spotify stuff. But if you go to RadioU Spotify, we have different playlists for things, including our Christmas in July.
Yeah, that's
that
up
has
there.
a playlist. And then we have personal DJ playlists.
Yes, each of us DJs here at Radio U has one. Nikki's No Skips. Did you name that, or was that Nene?
Nene did.
Nene came up with that. He's so clever. Mine's Hudson's Hot Ones, which always just makes me think of the
wings.
Wings, And so I was looking through, and would everybody allow me to whine here for a moment?
Sure.
That's out of all the Radio U DJs, save for Lex, who is out on maternity leave and hasn't actually added any music to her playlist yet.
It's not even public.
Of all of the playlists that actually have music on them, I have the least subscribers, the least followers of all of them. Does that mean? Yeah, obviously it's all Radio U music. It's all good. But does that mean I have the worst taste in music of all of the Radio U? Or does it mean I have the least friends?
I would say it's not about the music. They're not even clicking it to look at the music.
You think?
That just means they
just don't like my picture?
It's just
That
you.
makes me feel better.
I know, doesn't it?
So we've got to change this. Now, none of these, I think, we haven't done they haven't been around that long, and we haven't done the best job of putting them out there where we have, our other playlists that have like tons and tons of subscribers, and then there's all of our DJ playlists that only have a few.
Yeah,
but
pushed it yet.
Considering that there's only a few subscribers to each, it makes it even more egregious that I have the least.
Well, what do you want to do about it?
I want people to go subscribe to mine and not subscribe to yours, because then you would still be ahead of me.
Do you want, you want them to unsubscribe?
Yeah, that would be great. That would be great.
All right, I don't think that's wrong. I don't mind.
I just freshly updated mine. When did you update yours? Probably been a while, huh?
Actually, I haven't updated it since you put it up there.
Well, you got to get on that.
I know.
You got to get on that. Let this be a reminder. No. Another reason it's even more egregious that I have the least followers. I'm actually updating this. I'm taking it seriously. I just put the reason I even brought this up is because Knox Hamilton, even though they haven't put out new music in a while, I just put an additional Knox Hamilton song on my playlist.
They're one of your favorites.
Because I love Knox Hamilton, but I got a lot of new stuff on there too. You want to know what's hot? you go check out Hudson's Hot Ones on Spotify.
All right. Well, that is the homework for the weekend. If you don't mind, you can again get to our Spotify stuff if you go to RadioU.com, and then you can find all of our playlists to make sure you're following whichever one speaks to you the most. All right.
But make sure it's mine.
If you know what's good for you.
Yeah, exactly. I'm the biggest star here. I deserve to have the most followers.
Oh, you just got a couple more followers. You're ahead of me now.
It's working.
Hey, wait, guys. Okay, can't Hudson and I be tied? Now,
Sure,
I don't want to feel
it is
the
our show
worst.
together. Yeah, so we can be at least close.
Actually, if you want to just troll Hudson, just follow.
Oh,
unfollow,
don't
unfollow.
you. Just follow everybody else except me.
If you keep listening to the Worst of the Riot, eventually it'll be over. Riot Podcast, Radio U.
As a Radio U DJ, a morning show host who has to get up early every day, I know how important it is to get a good night's sleep.
We know we're not getting as much as we're supposed to.
That's why I turned to Casper Mattress.
Or what's all the other ones?
Yeah.
Are like, oh my gosh.
Purple
Listen,
was a big one for a while.
I know that mattresses are expensive.
Yeah.
And they're coming in boxes now. Like, that's how it is. But they be pushing those.
I like it used to be for so long in the ads, they'd be like, watch out, it comes in a vacuum packed. Watch out when you open it, it'll explode on you. But after that, you'll get the best night of sleep of your life, is how it always used to be. Well, I've got a mattress here. It is not a Casper mattress, but it's supposed to not just help you get a good night's sleep, but make sure that you fall asleep quickly.
Ooh.
Because I know some people have a problem. You lie down in bed, it's bedtime, but that doesn't mean you go to sleep.
No, you're not tired yet. So this is from Bioengineers. So this sounds official.
Yeah.
At
So
the University of Texas.
man, this really sounds like an ad, doesn't it?
It
We're
does.
really doing a good job
But it's not
of
for
making
sale.
it sound like a really natural thing that like, oh, we're just talking about this mattress. It's not an advertisement, but then it actually is. But it actually isn't, because this isn't even a thing that is for sale, as far as I know.
It's
this
more
is just
about
something
technology for like future mattresses.
Right. So I'm sure this will be in a Casper mattress one day. But in the meantime, it is just a basically an experiment they were doing at the University of Texas, where they engineered a mattress that they say basically it tricks your body into falling asleep faster. Basically, it's all about your body temperature.
Oh, that does it?
Right.
Yeah.
Because we've heard different things about like if you can't get to sleep, you've got to, it's because your feet are the wrong temperature or something like that. So what they have done is they have put in, I guess, like a temperature control inside the mattress that will kind of, once you get into bed, it will manipulate your body temperature to get your body to feel like, oh, it's time to sleep now.
Well, it'll know that you're in bed.
Mm-hmm.
And so what happens is naturally your body temperature will decline as you get ready to go to sleep and then
Mm-hmm.
fall asleep. It declines even more. Some of us way more. Way more. So what the mattress will do is it'll start you off at a hotter temperature,
Mm-hmm.
and then slowly, while you're just sitting there, decline into it. It's almost like it's lulling your
Wow.
body to sleep by going to that lower body
I
temperature.
don't like that. Slowly.
Slowly? You need
Yeah,
faster?
I need to go to sleep fast. But see, this is the problem that I have. I don't need a mattress like this because I could fall asleep anywhere. I'm always tired. I could fall asleep right now. You give me 5 minutes, and all of a sudden you'll be doing the show alone. If that's what you prefer. So this isn't a problem for me, but I know for other people, some people like to get into bed and then they're just looking at TikTok, not falling asleep, and maybe this would help some people like that. Anybody we know?
Oh, that's me over here.
Yeah,
That's me.
This is the mattress you need.
I know. I need something like
you
this.
kick your TikTok habit, and you'd fall asleep faster. It's perfect.
Listen, I don't know how else to tell you guys, but my problem at night is I don't want to sleep. Okay?
But it feels so good.
I don't want to. I want to sleep at other times of the day when I don't have time to.
This
so at
will make you
night-
fall asleep so quick
Nope.
that you'll be able to squeeze in some naps during the day.
I become very immature at night. I want to stay up and watch something.
I don't understand that at all. If I could go to sleep at like 7 o'clock, I probably would. I mean, I go home, I take a nap. My life sounds very sad when I put it this way. I go home from work, I take a nap.
Like you can't make it all
Then
day?
I just cannot wait to go to bed. Because it's just one of those things that I eventually realized that there's very few things that I can do while I'm awake that feel as good to me as being asleep does. So that's why, I just embraced it that sleeping, like, there's no shame in going to bed. There's no shame at all. So go ahead and do it. And if you're having troubles, get this mattress that is not from Casper or Sleepy's.
Well, that's your sleep report from Dr. Hudson.
You've made it all the way to the end of the Worst of the Riot. This show only exists because of support from listeners like you. Find out more and help out at RadioU.com/donate.